Many thanks for making a date in today's edition of the Marketplace. Welcome back. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been outlining priority areas as he works to implement policies outlined in the 2020 budget statement. The minister was speaking at the PricewaterhouseCoopers post-budget forum a while ago.
Programs which started in 2017 will be continued. Expectation that it will really support the non-oil growth, and we've seen what's been happening, because it's quite a conundrum that we seem to have capital expenditure going down. We are seeing the strong results from the rail sector, and we feel either we are using the limited capital expenditure much better, and also the flagship programs really getting down to support that. So we'll continue to do that, and the beauty of that is that it also helps with inclusiveness and social protection, because the fight ahead is going to require quite a bit of, as we said, in Kabum, all of us united and doing together, and therefore there must be a reason why citizens should participate, and that's why we'll continue to do that. We are mindful of fiscal excesses that usually occur in election years, and we have committed to ensure that the economy is managed to prevent the reoccurrence of fiscal slippages in 2020, another election year. We have set the following macro targets for the 2020 budget: overall GDP growth of 6.8%, non-oil 6.7%, and period inflation rate of 8%. We are currently at about 7.7% October, and I guess it's the lowest that we've experienced in a long time, looking at the new series. Overall fiscal deficit equivalent to 4.7% of GDP, squeaking a positive primary surplus, and then the gross international reserves of not less than 3.5 months. But then there are two major challenges that we still have to face. That's the energy sector and the IPPs, that I think we are making considerable progress with the discussions, very open, trying to understand that if we are going to be in a marriage for 20 years, let's sort out the problems today, so that we both, know that with the economy growing, more resources will come into the sector for that.
The second tranche of cocoa loan syndication cash has hit the Bank of Ghana's accounts. We understand that $500 million was transferred to the central bank's account last Friday. What will be the impact on the cedi, which has been under some pressure in recent times? George Rafi tells us more.
The inflow would increase the Bank of Ghana's international reserves significantly to reach over $9 billion. The Bank of Ghana recently disclosed that it is hoping to improve its reserves by about $1 billion the last 2 months of the year. Some analysts are even projecting that it could hit $10 billion by December this year. This move is seen as building a strong reserves for what some are describing as challenging times ahead. The pickup in the central bank's reserves should bring some confidence in the market and assure investors that the regulator is in a strong position to firmly defend the Ghana cedi and provide dollars for businesses that need them to finance their imports. The local currency, on the other hand, has come under some sort of sustained pressures over the past weeks. This is because despite the strong reserve position of the central bank, some of the commercial banks say they are still not getting all their dollar requests. This has led many asking whether the limited presence of the Bank of Ghana on the market is deliberate or not. Some are already worried about the cedi's performance, especially when we've not gotten into that festive season, when demand for dollars picks up strongly.
Let's do some more financial sector news. And customers of defunct management companies have been trooping to various premises of the companies in Accra and Kumasi to get validated prior to the receipt of locked-up funds. In the Ashanti region, reports say the many customers are stranded at various branches of CBG in the region. Let's go over now to Kumasi and speak with my colleague Prince Apia via Skype. Prince, you're welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you very much, Ima.
So can you tell us where you've been today and what is the picture like?
Yes, so we've been visiting a number of companies, the CBG offices here in Kumasi. We've been to KNUST branch of it. We've been to the Hyperspace branch of it. And currently, I should say that we are at the Idum branch, the main CBG branch. And a number of the aggrieved customers of the defunct fund management companies are here in their numbers. They are counting into 1,000 as per the registration they've done so far. And I should say that as of now, they've not received any communication from the authorities. What they were told is that officials of CBG will be coming from Accra to start the validation. But I should add that as I speak to you, they are only writing their names and the validation has not started, Ima.
Now, so what have these people been saying? Do they have so much confidence in this process? And when do they expect their locked-up investments to be given back to them?
What they've been telling me is that they are very much disappointed, and most of them are stranded because they have been here since 6 a.m., some 5:30 a.m. here at some of the branches, expecting the validation will start in the morning. Some say that they knew that banks start working at 8 a.m., so they were here early enough to get it over and done with and leave. But as I speak to you, none of them have been validated, and that is a big worry. Very much disappointed. They are so hopeful. Most of them have left the premises of the CBG banks branches, but few of them are still here and expected that at least from some minutes, some hours from now, the validation will start, whichever process it is, so that they get it over and done with.
Right. So, in your own estimation, how long will the validation process take?
So tentatively, we are told that it's supposed to take a month, and so that at least in December, most of them will get their monies and be able to celebrate the Christmas holidays.
All right, many thanks for that update. Prince Appiah joining us via Skype in Kumasi. He's been talking, or he's been looking at the picture of the various fund management companies where customers have trooped to start the validation exercise. Now, meanwhile, rural and community banks want government to give them payment priority in the refund of locked-up investments in collapsed fund management firms and other financial institutions. Managing Director of ARB Apex Bank, Kojo Mata, says it will enable players in the sector to have access to funds for effective running of their institutions. Nana Yaojima was at the climax of the 7th Rural Banking Week celebration and has filed this report.
More than half of locked-up investments are that of rural and community banks. Regulatory body, the Security and Exchange Commission, has cited protection of the integrity of the securities market and investors as reasons for its action. Affected institutions were put under receivership as customers are verified to rectify challenges. Officials say the measure is biting hard on rural banks who had invested in such institutions. Mr. Mata pleads rural banks be given some priority in paying their customers.
We woke up last Friday, November 8th, to the news of revocation of operating licenses of 53 finance houses. One of the major unintended consequences of this latest regulatory crackdown is that many of our rural and community banks have had their funds locked up with these fund management companies. Since liquidity is the lifeblood of every bank, we shall be extremely grateful if the First Deputy Governor and the Finance Minister could use your good offices to help expedite the process of paying up the RCB's locked-up funds, locked-up investments with these finance houses.
Mr. Mata, however, reiterates the banks are in good position to serve clients in spite of the setback.
Again, I want to assure the general public that rural and community banks are resilient. We are able to serve them. We are able to pay them their deposits as and when they are in need of their deposits. So no rural bank is going anywhere. The general public should rest assured that the rural banks are here to serve them, and they should continue doing business with rural and community banks in their communities.
Rural banks hold about 6.5 million customers with over 3.5 billion cedis in deposits and credit to more than 2.5 million customers. Ability of these clients to be well served will depend largely on liquidity. Bank of Ghana, however, gives assurance the funds will soon be released to affected institutions. Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Aferi is first deputy governor.
We are aware that a number of large institutional depositors, including financial institutions and the rural banks, have their funds locked up with the microfinance and savings and loans institutions. I want to announce that an understanding has been reached among the Ministry of Finance, the Bank of Ghana, and the receiver to find a way to unlock these funds. Modalities are ongoing, and once that is concluded, we will announce the modalities very soon.
Nana Aljima reporting.
Let's turn attention to some controversy on the retail market. And Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, has again threatened a nationwide action which will see the flush out of foreigners from the local retail market. GUTA, at a press conference this morning, gave a one-week ultimatum to government and all agencies linked to getting rid of foreigners from the retail market to force out all foreigners or witness a massive action by its members throughout the country.
GUTA therefore petitioned the necessary state institutions, including the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Office of the President, GIPC, Office of the Council of State, Parliament, and other institutions. Not even the formation of the various interagency task force by the government has succeeded in dealing decisively with this menace. This has caused untold hardship and frustrations to a saturation point on Ghanaians, whose reserve area is being taken over by recalcitrant foreigners in the country. Having exhausted all the possible avenues for negotiation with the state actors, we decided as citizens and not spectators who are being seriously affected by the weaknesses and inefficiencies of the state institutions to take the bull by the horn, to enforce the law ourselves, since the state institutions responsible have failed to act. The last time some foreigners' shops were closed is about 4 months now. 3 months alternative was given to them to leave the illegal retail trade. The 3 months has since elapsed, and here we are still saddled with the foreigners in the retail trade. Each time we embark on an action, an effort, each time we embark on an action to enforce the law, state authorities plead with us to stop so they could carry it out or take the necessary action to get them out of the market. But eventually they go back to sleep on the job. We are now at our wits' end and can no longer endure suffering as slaves in our own country, while foreigners flout our laws with impunity. This explains the quite recent closure of illegal foreign retail shops in some parts of Ashanti region and the Greater Accra regions.
Now, local engineering firm Rigworld Limited has opened an ultra-modern manufacturing center in Takoradi to produce high-quality stud bolts and nuts, as well as pressure hydraulic hoses for the industries in the oil and gas and mining sectors, among others. The facility, christened Rigworld Solutions, is born out of a collaboration between Rigworld and its UK partners, Steadfast and Hydroson. Natalia Kwansan reports.
The Rigworld Solutions offer an excellent alternative for oil and gas and mining companies to source high quality and affordable stud bolts and nuts and hydraulic hoses to support their routine repairs and installations of factory or site machinery and equipment. Factory manager of Rigworld Solutions, Nicholas Ameyo, during an inspection tour at the facility, told Joy Business that their products are up to international specification and quality standard.
We produce starboards and nuts. We produce high-pressure hose and low-pressure hoses. The starboard and nuts usually was imported to Ghana, but now as indigenous company like Rigworld Solution, we are producing it here, and then we are demanding all oil and gas mining companies to come and give us their maximum support as a local content to increase productivity for our oil and gas and the mining sector, also to create jobs for our brothers and sisters who are around here in Takoradi and beyond. We use these starboats at the oil and gas company as one of the major fastening that the fasteners.
With this, the company is hopeful the importation of these products and associated costs will be a thing of the past. He called on the Petroleum Commission to develop a framework that will support local industries to maximize production. He urged that such frameworks will provide a secure market for their products.
It increased their productivities and reduced their by reducing their downtime whenever they need it, since we have the production being made here in Ghana. So I encourage all oil and gas companies, the mining sectors, all the manufacturing companies, the railways, the harbour authorities to come and give us their maximum support. We also appeal to Petroleum Commission to bring out some rules and regulations that can assure our production will not be in a vain for the maximum infrastructure and compressed equipment that we have come to put here in Ghana, to get maximum support from them to enable us also sell and then make our country proud that what they do outside, we can also do it here in Ghana.
For Joy Business, in Athalia Kwanza, Western Region.
Now, businesses which use plastics are advocating a policy to compel construction firms to apply a minimum amount of such materials in their work. 3 institutions have shown the way by building a 6-seater toilet facility with plastic waste for the Domiabra MA Junior High School in Ashanti Region. Ghana Recycling Initiative by private enterprise GRIPE is leading the initiative as part of measures to rid the environment of plastic wastes. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, as well as the Building and Road Research Institute, BRI, of Council for Scientific and Industrial Research are collaborators. Prince Appiah witnessed the inauguration of the innovative project and housed this report.
About 2.58 million metric tons of raw plastics are imported into Ghana annually. Checks at the Environmental Protection Agency reveal as much as 73% of the lot ends up effectively as waste, with only 19% reused. Samuel Oting is Ashanti Regional Director of EPA.
You can't underestimate the importance of the plastic because it has become part of us today. The most important thing is how we dispose it of. We don't need to mix it with other garbages because the plastic itself can be recycled.
AGI, the Building Roads and Research Institute, and Ghana Recycling Initiative by private enterprises GRIPE have been researching into alternative uses. Dr. Ama Tagbo is head of Advanced Material Science Division of BRI.
We did a lot of research into waste plastic, and that is what we are piloting in this project. It is a demonstration of what we do in the lab and also to study how it will perform on the field.
GRIPE has therefore moved to address the menace with collaboration with like-minded agencies. The research produced the making of concrete blocks from plastics. The partners have built a 6-seater toilet facility with the plastic concrete blocks for the Domiabra MAJHS. GRIPE official Joy Saki believes a policy direction is very critical for the desired change.
So for GRIPE, today's event is not just about the building
of a sanitation block for the school. It's about shaping policy. It's about having a conversation around the fact that if this works and is standardized and we are able to use plastics in building, then we want to see how this translates into a policy action where there's a policy that mandates construction firms, civil engineers to use a percentage of the materials used in such buildings with plastics. The joy of this is that the visual representation of the washroom that this was used with plastics changes mindset. So it's
Chief Executive of AGI said Chuma Kwabwa, it's positive the initiative provides option for businesses.
So the companies that are part of the program sponsored this project, and the idea is to use the blocks that is produced out of plastics to have this facility. One, it is part of their corporate social responsibilities, so we are helping the school here. The school children can make use of it, but at the same time we are demonstrating that there's a second life of plastic that we must be aware of. It also means that plastic waste is a resource. Being a resource means that you can actually make money out of it, and therefore we are encouraging people to do the collection of plastics. We are also encouraging enterprises to go into the recycling of plastics. One company cannot do it in the whole country. So even if they are already recyclers, we need to have more in every corner so that every plastic that comes out is collected and is used for other purposes. So there's
interest groups say the agency will continue to work to ensure a change in public attitude to plastic waste. Prince Apia reporting.
And just before we go, the regional chairman of the Volta Eastern chapter of the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, Dela Gajanku, says the upcoming trade, investment and cultural fair in the Volta region will aim at attracting companies into the region and equally take advantage of the tourism potential of the region to drive the growth of the local economy. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business at the sidelines of the Ghana-Singapore Business Conference in Accra, the AGI regional chairman said tourism prospects of the Volta region have not seen the needed promotion and investments over the years.
The Volta Regional Coordinating Councils will place emphasis or focus on two important sectors, that is the tourism sector and the agriculture sector. Over the years, if you talk about Volta region, we have one of the greatest tourism attractions and potentials in the country. Unfortunately, we have not been able to tap it. And we should not only fault government for that, the private sector must also, one way or the other, take the blame. It is in this direction that we have resolved as a private sector, when I mean the Association of Ghana Industries, to work closely with government and the other stakeholders, the Ghana Tourist Authority and the Ghana Hoteliers Association, to see how we can be able to project these tourism potentials of our endowed region. And this we'll do in our 2020 work plan. Recently, apart from branches, we might also be talking about new companies. I mean, we should also go Volta region to be the center rather, and be able to send branches to other regions. We don't want to be the receiving end of branches of businesses. We should be the first point where industries will set up. 2 or 3 days ago, you might have learned that the president went to Adaklu where he inspected the rice mill. And when you look at the project, the entire project of the promoters, it's an expansive project. It's something that will boost the employment potentials of the region. It will boost the economic potentials of the region. We want Volta region to be the first point. We want it to be the gateway. We don't want only Volta region to be a branch of any industry that are set up in Accra or any other place. So the 4th Volta Trade, Investment and Culture Fair is taking place in Ho, Volta Regional Capital, from the 22nd of November to the 1st of December at the Ho Sports Stadium. And it is an opportunity to bring together Ghanaian and international businesses to exhibit their products and services.
And here we end the marketplace for today. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We are free. Have a good afternoon.